Aerosol canisters lined up on a drugstore shelf. Blue skies. Sunburned children. The word protection printed in bold white letters across every single can. I have spent the last 3 months cross-referencing FDA enforcement reports from March 2026, laboratory findings, and internal industry submissions. What I found does not live on the front of that can. It lives inside it. Aerosol sunscreens sold under household names right now contain benzene. Not in theory. In concentrations independent laboratories found at levels up to 600 times the FDA's own acceptable limit. 600 times. The industry is not disputing these findings. The FDA is not disputing them either. The debate is not whether benzene is in the can. The debate is what anyone intends to do about it. The answer, as this audit goes live, is almost nothing. My name is Marcus. This is Label Truth, and this is not a warning. This is a documented audit of a system that decided your skin was an acceptable surface for a known human carcinogen. Glass vials filled with aerosol residue. A mass spectrometer running in a cleanroom laboratory. A stack of results printing onto stainless steel. In 2021, an independent pharmacy testing firm named Valisure submitted a citizen petition to the FDA. 78 batches of sunscreen. Major brands. Benzene was detected in 27% of the samples. The labels on those reports were Neutrogena, Banana Boat, and Sunbum. Products sold by the tens of millions at Target, CVS, and Costco warehouses across every state in this country. What is benzene? It is a 6-carbon ring molecule, colorless and sweet-smelling. Classified by the World Health Organization as a Group 1 carcinogen. That means the evidence linking it to cancer in humans is not theoretical. It is definitive. Benzene causes leukemia, cancer of the blood and bone marrow. There is no safe level of benzene exposure. The FDA recognizes 2 parts per million as a conditional limit for unavoidable contamination. Valissure's tests found concentrations above that threshold in nearly 1 in 3 samples. 1 sample hit over 3 parts per million. That is not a rounding error. That is a regulatory failure dressed up as a beach day. Ingredient panels printed in 6-point type on the back of a sunscreen bottle list chemical names, but most people never read them. Aerosol sunscreens are engineered to penetrate. Chemical filters like oxybenzone and avobenzone must reach the deeper layers of your skin to absorb ultraviolet radiation. Formulators add penetration. Enhancers to get them there, such as alcohols, propylene glycol, and esters. Penetration enhancers temporarily disrupt the skin barrier. They open a door, and whatever else is in that can, including benzene, walks through that open door with the active ingredients. A 2020 study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that 4 common sunscreen chemicals were detectable in human blood after a single application. Some reached concentrations above the FDA's own threshold for toxicological concern. That was for the active ingredients alone. Add a confirmed carcinogen to the same delivery vehicle, and the danger increases. The FDA's response to that study was that more research was needed. That request was issued in 2020. As of 2026, no updated safety ruling on sunscreen absorption has been finalized. That is a calculated choice to leave a known risk unresolved while product sales continue. 2 regulatory databases are open side by side on a computer screen. One is from Brussels. One is from Washington, D.C. The space between them shows the gap between a functional regulatory system and a broken one. The EU has approved 29 active sunscreen filters. The United States has approved 16. But the number alone does not tell the story. The story is which ones are missing. European formulas are built around next-generation filters, like Tinosorbs and Tinosorb M. These filters are photostable. They do not break down in sunlight. They are not linked to hormonal disruption. They do not generate chemical byproducts that degrade into benzene. American sunscreens rely heavily on Avobenzone, a photounstable compound. Under direct sunlight, Avobenzone degrades. One of those degradation pathways, particularly inside a heated aerosol canister, produces benzene. That is not a fringe theory. That is documented organic chemistry. The propellant heats the canister. The canister sits in a 90-degree car. The avobenzone breaks down. The benzene forms. Tinosorb does not do this. Tinosorb is stable, and Tinosorb is not legal in the United States. The FDA classifies sunscreen as an over-the-counter drug, not a cosmetic. Any new active ingredient must pass a full monograph review. Tinosorb and several other European Union-approved filters have been waiting for that review since 2002. 24 years. No final ruling, no approval, no updated FDA monograph. The Sunscreen Innovation Act of 2014 created an expedited review pathway. As of 2026, not one new active filter ingredient has been approved through it. Lobbying disclosure forms stamped and filed in a federal office building. The Capitol Dome, visible through a glass window. The Personal Care Products Council has consistently opposed acceleration of the FDA monograph review. Their member companies supply the chemical filters currently approved. Reformulation means new supply chains, new costs, lost market share. The FDA has received multiple citizen petitions demanding action on new filter approvals. Valisher submitted one. Consumer safety groups submitted others. Each petition was acknowledged. Each was shelved. A law designed to fix this problem, the Sunscreen Innovation Act, has produced 0 approvals in over a decade of existence. 0. A law that changed nothing. A review process that reviewed nothing. A regulatory agency that protected nothing except the status quo. A California Proposition 65 warning label affixed to a shelf display at a drugstore. A microscope slide. A vial of human urine in a toxicology laboratory. Oxybenzone, one of the primary chemical filters in American sunscreens, carries a Proposition 65 warning in the state of California. Proposition 65 is the right-to-know law requiring warnings about chemicals linked to cancer, birth defects, or reproductive harm. Oxybenzone is a confirmed endocrine disruptor. It mimics hormonal signaling inside the body. It does not stay on the surface of your skin. The CDC, National Biomonitoring Program, detected oxybenzone in the urine of 96% of Americans tested. That is not theoretical exposure. That is a documented, measurable presence in nearly every American body. Hawaii banned oxybenzone in sunscreens in 2018. The reason? Documented reef destruction at parts per trillion concentrations. When a compound kills coral ecosystems at that level, the question of what it does to a developing human endocrine system deserves more than a shelved petition. The FDA has had this data for over a decade. The response has been cardiac research is needed. More time is required. More time is not what the family buying banana boat at the Walmart checkout has been given. They are given a label that says SPF 50. They are not given the rest of this audit. A kitchen counter in a suburban American home. A recycling bin. Aerosol cans going in. A tube of mineral sunscreen with a clean ingredient label coming out. Here is what this audit concludes. Not with outrage, with evidence. Benzene contamination in aerosol sunscreens is not a manufacturing accident. It is the predictable chemical consequence of using photounstable filters in pressurized canisters that are exposed to heat. The safer alternatives exist. They are approved in Europe. They have been locked out of the American market by a monograph review system that has not issued a single new approval in 24 years. The system has not stalled because the science is unclear. The science supports approval. It has stalled because the cost of regulatory action is lower than the cost of reformulation. Here is the swap. 3 steps. No complexity. First, stop using aerosol sunscreens. The pressurized, heat-exposed canister is the primary driver of benzene formation. Lotion formats do not carry the same degradation risk. Second, switch to mineral sunscreens. Zinc oxide and titanium dioxide are the 2 FDA-recognized mineral filters. They sit on top of your skin, and they reflect ultraviolet radiation physically. They do not penetrate. They do not degrade into carcinogens. They carry no endocrine disruption data. They work. Third, look for non-nano zinc oxide on the label. Brands to consider include Badger, ThinkSport, and Bebo Botanicals. You can find them at Target, Whole Foods, or online. The only thing standing between you and a safer product was the information on this label. Benzene on your skin is just the beginning. Once your skin barrier is open, the next audit will haunt you. We are currently investigating how BPA from recycled paper products migrates directly into your bloodstream through skin contact. The receipt in your wallet, the paper towel on your kitchen counter, the tissue in your bathroom. All of them carry the same fingerprint. The receipt scandal begins in the next video. Subscribe so you do not miss it. Because what is on the shelf is only half the story. The other half is what is happening inside your body right now. This is Label Truth. I am Marcus. The audit continues.